Good evening. Welcome to the May 4th, 2026 West Clermont School Board meeting. Mr. Romano, please take roll.
Mr. Patton.
Present.
Mr. Chumley.
Present.
Mr. Rudy.
Present.
Ms. Sanborn.
Present.
Mrs. Spencer.
Present.
All present.
Okay, thank you. We do have a need to go into executive session I will make the motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or office, considering the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, preparing for negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment, and fourth, to consider the confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal finance statements of an applicant for application for economic development assistance, or to negotiate with the other political subdivision respecting requests for economic development assistance. I put it in form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Patton.
Yes.
Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
Mrs. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Sanborn.
Yes.
Mr. Chumley.
Yes.
5 yes.
We will be back. 7 o'clock. Thank you.
David, do we need to take
Good evening. We are back from executive session. Mr. Romano, please take roll.
Mr. Patton.
Guys, hold on, guys. We're back from executive session. He's going to take roll call, please.
Mr. Patton.
Present?
Mr. Chumley. Present. Mr. Rudy.
Present.
Ms. Sanborn.
Present.
Mrs. Spencer.
Present.
All present.
Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So off topic here, the light is right here in my eyes, and this is a different scenery for me, so bear with me, please. I apologize. Next up is the motion to adopt the agenda. Would someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Spencer, thank you. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
Mrs. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Chumley.
Yes.
Mr. Patton.
Yes.
You forgot
Sorry,
me.
Ms. Sanborn.
Yes.
5 yes.
It's the lights, I'm telling you. Next up is our West Clermont retiree recognition. Jenny, yep.
President Patton, members of the board. Tonight we recognize our distinguished retirees who have served such a purpose to the West Clermont school community. Every retiree has had a different hand in supporting our students and staff. Their years of service reflect a deep commitment to public education. Tonight, each will be recognized by their building leader and receive a small token of appreciation, including a special painting from former Superintendent Jerry Brooks. We wish them well and hope they found joy in every day of their new journey. We're going to begin with our elementaries, move to West Clermont Middle School, West Clermont High School, and then end with district office. So this time I would like to welcome Mr. Shane Short from Amelia Elementary.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education and West Clermont community. Tonight we honor an educator whose 27 years of dedication helped shape generations of readers and learners in our district, Miss Jennifer Burgess. Her journey in education began with an early childhood degree in Illinois, followed by her bachelor's and master's degrees from NKU, along with additional graduate work and reading recovery through The Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes, right, Dr. Foltz? There we go. After student teaching at Clough, teaching kindergarten at Merwin, and later serving as a para at Willowville, she joined Amelia Elementary, where she spent the majority of her career as a reading recovery teacher, Title I teacher, and reading specialist. Driven by a lifelong love for children and inspired by the impact teachers had on her own daughters, she approached every student with kindness, compassion, and high expectations. One of her most memorable experiences was witnessing the passage of the levee and opening of the new Amelia Elementary School building in 2010, a moment that symbolized growth and opportunity for the entire school community. She leaves behind a legacy of supporting students through some of their greatest learning challenges and helping them discover confidence in reading and writing. Thank you for your years of service, your passion for literacy, and the care you showed to every student and colleague along the way. Congrats on your retirement. Next up is Miss Kathy Birchtold, who is an educator of 21 years of service, made a lasting impact on students, families, and colleagues alike. She spent her first 11 years of her career as a special education preschool teacher and the last 10 years as a kindergarten teacher, dedicating herself to helping young learners grow with confidence and joy. Her inspiration to teach came from a personal experience when her own child received support for a speech delay. The compassion, teamwork, and encouragement shown by the preschool team inspired her to become the kind of educator who could ease parents' fears and help children become the best versions of themselves. Throughout her career, she carried a simple but powerful lesson from her husband, who's here tonight as well. Focus on where you are going and believe in what students are capable of achieving. That mindset helped shape her teaching every day. She will be remembered for creating classrooms filled with fun, laughter, safety, and love, from walkathons and field days to memorable characters of her own, like Pirate Bob and the Desk Fairy. Thank you for your dedication, compassion, and countless lives you've touched. Congrats on your retirement.
And lastly, tonight, we want to honor Diane Hale. She's unable to attend, but she has been an educator for more than 4 decades. Beginning in 1984, teaching kindergarten at KinderCare in Anderson Township, and then she later served at Bethesda North Hospital before continuing her journey in education through substitute teaching in West Clermont and Batavia schools. In 2001, she joined Holly Hill Elementary as an intervention assistant and later continued her teaching career at Amelia Elementary, where she impacted students in 4th grade, 1st grade, kindergarten, and 2nd grade classrooms. Inspired early in life through church work with children and by a teacher who believed in her, she dedicated her career to making students feel loved and supported beyond academics. One of her favorite memories was hosting a hilarious teacher version of Family Feud at Holly Hill alongside her husband, who served as PTA president. Thank you for your years of service and dedication and love for students, Diane. Even though you weren't able to join us tonight, congrats on your retirement.
Next up is Clough.
Good evening. I'm Joe Stahl, the assistant principal, and John Wagner is not with us today. He is back at Clough cleaning our building, getting it ready for tomorrow. He's our custodian, who is one of the hardest working people in our building. He shows up every day ready to go to get our job done. The teachers truly appreciate him, not just for the work he has done, but for the quiet, dependable way he keeps our school running smoothly, which the teachers appreciate. All their tiles are cleaned up and the pencils all put away. So thank you, John.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Caraher, and I'm the principal at Merwin Elementary. And tonight I have the honor of recognizing Karen Kunkel, who is known as the Gifted Goat. I have only had the pleasure of working with Karen for a year, but her very dear friend, Erin Raymond, had some things that I felt would be important for me to share. Erin has said, Karen has dedicated her life to the students of West Clermont, not just teaching them, but seeing them, believing in them, and lifting them up. From her early days in 2nd grade at Brantner to inspiring gifted learners at Holly Hill, she has always followed one simple mission: to make a difference in the lives of children. She carried that same passion into 5th grade at Summerside, where so many students found confidence because she believed in them first. But it is her hard work with gifted students across the district where her light has shined so brightly. Karen didn't just teach lessons, she created experiences. She challenged minds, sparked curiosity, and made students feel truly special. And that's who Karen is. She gives more, she cares more, she sees potential where others might not, and then she nurtures until it grows. Her impact goes far beyond the classroom. It lives in the students who now believe in themselves, in the colleagues she has inspired, and in the countless lives she has touched over the years. The truth is, you don't replace someone like Karen, you carry her influence with you. While it's hard to imagine the district without her energy, her positivity, and her unmistakable passion, we know this next chapter will be just as full of life. Whether she's hiking out west or spending time with her friends and family, especially welcoming her new granddaughter, Karen will continue to bring joy and love into everything that she does. Karen, you are truly one of a kind, and I couldn't agree with Mrs. Raymond more. Thank you for everything you've given, not just to this district, but to all of us. You will be deeply, deeply missed. Tonight, I'd also like to recognize Michelle Can. She is not able to be here, but I want to make sure that everyone is aware of the incredible impact she has had on our staff and our students, especially this year at Merwin in the instructional coaching role. With 32 years in our district, Michelle brings not only a wealth of experience, but also a deep understanding of what great teaching and learning truly look like. This past year at Merwin, she has worked side by side with our teachers, supporting, guiding, and challenging them to grow. What makes Michelle so special is her unique balance of empathy and high expectations. She meets teachers where they are, listens, and builds trust, but she also isn't afraid to push thinking, encourage innovation, and inspire teachers to step outside their comfort zones for the benefits of their students. Because of Michelle, our teachers are stronger, our classrooms are more impactful, and ultimately our students are more successful. We thank her for her dedication, her passion, and the difference she has made every single day. We are very grateful for Michelle.
Good evening. It is my honor tonight to honor Mrs. Holly Jeske, who has dedicated 33 years of her life to the educational field, with the last 21 of these years right here in West Clermont as a paraprofessional and a do everything for everyone kind of personnel. She just shared with me that she started her career in preschool in the private sector and took time to spend time with her lovely family, who are here tonight to celebrate her as well. Mrs. Jeske has been the definition of a conscientious and faithful servant in our field. She shows up each day with quiet dedication, always ready to support both students and staff in any way she can. She's known for her gentle empathy and her unwavering acceptance of all students and staff for where they are. You have a remarkable ability, Mrs. Jeske, to meet us where we are, offering kindness and understanding while also providing structure and the consistency that we need to grow and that our students need to grow. Mrs. Jeske has been an integral part of our K-1 special education team. While we are so happy for you and for your family, we also know as you begin this next chapter that there is going to be no denying that your presence, compassion, and steady support will be deeply missed at Summerside. Thank you for your years of service, for your dedication, and the difference you've made in so many lives. We wish you all the best in this next chapter, in these next adventures ahead, and you have certainly earned this retirement. Congratulations.
Good evening. WT has 3 outstanding educators retiring this school year. I would like to recognize and congratulate Miss Debbie Marsh. Total 34 years in West Clermont. Miss Marsh began at Glen Estey in the cafeteria. She proceeded to serve as cafe manager at Brantner until it closed in 2019, and then served at WT. I hear you, Dr. Foltz. I caught up with Miss Marsh since September. She retired in September. But Miss Marsh says, just today, I miss the cafe team and the staff at WT. She reiterated that we worked together so good. Since September, she has had more time to go to lunch with friends, volunteer at the League for Animal Welfare, as well as traveling to Gatlinburg. We miss you, Miss Marsh, and always remember, once a bobcat, always a bobcat. I would like to recognize and congratulate Mrs. Amy Sweeney. Total of 36 and a half years as a teacher, 34 years in West Clermont and at WT. Ms. Sweeney's genuine care for teachers and staff overflows into making a difference in students. When I asked her what she was going to miss, she shared, "There are so many things that are special, but I have to say that no matter what day it is, no matter what year, every day someone or some child at school needs you. Maybe it's just one student, but that day you showed up to be there for them and ultimately for yourself." Ms. Sweeney looks forward to becoming a grandma in July and taking time to help her daughter through this milestone. Congratulations, Ms. Sweeney, and remember, once a bobcat, always a bobcat. I would like to recognize and congratulate Mrs. Mary Wright. Total 34 years as a teacher, 34 in West Clermont and at WT. Mrs. Wright reflected upon when interviewing to become a teacher and was asked, "What do you hope to accomplish as a teacher?" And she shared that her answer was always the same. If I can have a positive impact on just one child's life during my career, then that would have been worthwhile. When asked what she will miss, she stated, "The light bulb moments when a student reaches a goal, as well as there are friends here that have been through so many life experiences with me. Having friendships and connections with each of the teams that I've served on and administrators who care has been an amazing blessing. The thought of not seeing these faces each day is hard to think about." Ms. Wright looks forward to upcoming weddings and babies and the milestones they bring, and she allowed me to add, and the old lady water aerobics class at the Y. Congratulations, Ms. Wright, and remember, once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat.
Good evening. I am honored tonight to recognize two retirees. The first one I'd like to recognize is Miss Jen Hickey. Jen Hickey has been with West Clermont for all 32 years. She was at the middle school for 5 years teaching 7th grade science and has been at Willowville for the remainder of the years that she has taught 5th grade science. Her passion for learning has sparked curiosity in countless amount of students over the years. She has taught multiple generations of families that still talk about her lessons and explicitly the rocket experiment that they do. She said one of the students just recently told her that their parent still has their rocket, and they're getting ready to shoot those off here at the Miami Meadows, I believe, next week or the week after. In her classroom, her class isn't just a subject, but it is an adventure from hands-on experiences to the discussions that they have. And anytime I walk in there, they are engaged and into something and learning, and the kids are just asking so many questions. She has recently received the Excellence in Education Award with Clermont County, a well-deserved honor that reflects the impact that she's made not only in her classroom, but across the educational community. It is a testament to her professionalism, her creativity, and her commitment to her students. And not only does she take her teaching to the full extent of what she's teaching, but the relationships that she builds with her students is amazing, and they all come back and let her know how great an impact they have had. Wonderful job. The next one I'd like to recognize is Miss Mars, and Miss Mars has also been with West Clermont for 32 years. She has taught all grades, kindergarten through 5th, and she says that kindergarten has been her favorite of all, and she wishes she would have started with that grade. Generations of students have walked into her classroom nervous, afraid, not sure what to expect, but when they leave her kindergarten classroom, they are leaving confident, curious, and they know that they are loved. Parents have trusted Miss Mars so much that when they have one child in her classroom and then they have another one starting kindergarten, they request to have Miss Mars again because she is so great with kids. She just doesn't just give them an education, but the foundation for their learning. Being a kindergarten teacher, they teach them everything. Her patience, kindness, and her belief in every child have left a mark that lasts far beyond their school years. We're going to miss you, and we're so glad that you are going to have time to enjoy with your new grandbaby. And we're losing a lot of energy and expertise at Willowville with not having Miss Mars and Miss Hickey, but I congratulate them and celebrate the legacies that they are leaving behind.
I am incredibly honored to recognize the extraordinary career of Mrs. Rena Ford. who has spent 33 years in West Clermont School District. She began as an English language arts teacher, quickly earning a reputation as an innovative and dedicated educator. Her passion for student success and her natural leadership abilities led her to serve as the instructional leader for the 8th grade ELA team, where she strengthened curriculum, fostered meaningful collaboration, and elevated instructional practices across the grade level. It's really, though, her work as a gifted intervention specialist that has really distinguished her in her career. She has consistently created rigorous, engaging, and thoughtfully designed learning experiences that challenge students to think deeply and strive for excellence. And she creates a safe and welcoming environment for all of her students. Her ability to recognize and nurture the unique potential in each learner has inspired countless students to reach new heights that they never maybe had imagined for themselves. Her impact extends beyond her classroom. She empowers her colleagues by providing high-quality professional development for gifted, ensuring that gifted learners across our district receive rich, meaningful instruction grounded in best practice. Her influence can be seen not only in her students, but in the many educators she's mentored and supported throughout her career. Her commitment to fairness and equity is also noteworthy. She serves on the Ohio State Testing Fairness Committee, and she's been a strong advocate for inclusive and unbiased assessment practices, helping to ensure that all students are treated with dignity and given equitable opportunities to succeed. In recognition for her career and her exceptional skill and dedication to the profession, she has received the Martha Holden Jennings Master Teacher Award and the Clermont County Excellence in Education Award for educational support, achievements that reflect the very best of teaching excellence, leadership, and service. And it is an incredible loss for us, but we wish you well in your next chapter.
Good evening. West Clermont High School has 7 retirees this year, and I am going to start with Beth Fearing. Miss T, as the kids call her, started her career at Glenesty, which is where she may have developed her love of purple. Purple everything over the years, including her hair, which no one can pull off quite like Miss T. 32 years is what we're celebrating. Miss T was wonderful with our most medically fragile students. Her colleagues said that those students are her heart and what called her to the profession. On my morning walks, I knew I was close to Miss T's classroom when I could hear the classic rock blaring from the speakers in her room. You wouldn't peg her as an Aussie fan, but let me tell you, if someone has on Crazy Train at 7:45 a.m., it's Miss T. Thank you for your service to WCHS and the students who have passed through your room as a part of the SAIL program. Their worlds and ours are brighter because of you. Next is Denise Schmidt. My favorite memory of Mrs. Schmidt is the one when we went to Europe in 2004 with Mr. Rudy. Me as a student teacher along for the ride, and Mrs. Schmidt as a parent-teacher chaperone. I remember thinking she was the loveliest woman and an incredible mom and educator. Today she celebrates 26 years. I have enjoyed having this full circle moment with her this year as I see all of those things are still true. As an English teacher at WCHS, Mrs. Schmidt is a mentor to everyone and reminds those around her that nothing should be taken too seriously. Quietly hilarious was one such descriptor. She's an incredible listener both for students and colleagues. She remembers your birthday, something you have going on, and she always follows up to check in on you. Thank you for your service to West Clermont, for supporting your students, your English teacher colleagues, and this new teacher 23 years ago. All right, Scott Horstmeyer. Mr. Horstmeyer is celebrating 5 years in this district. 33.2 overall, not that anyone's counting. Mr. Horstmeyer will be so missed by the admin team and the special education world at West Clermont. He was so beloved that on National Scott Day in March, staff and students dressed up like their own Mr. Scott, complete with bald caps, newsboy hats, hey dudes, and a lanyard keychain hanging from their pockets. Got it, there it is. A true fashion icon at West Clermont. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Mr. Horstmeyer knows special education. His knowledge base is incredible, but what we will think of most about him are the relationships that he built with our staff and students, particularly in our units. Mr. Scott, as the kids called him, will be missed stepping in to give teachers a break, walking students to lunch, helping students in the sensory room, or just hanging out to be around the kids. Thank you for your service, Mr. Scott, and we wish you all the best in your travels and next adventures. I'm going to go through a couple of the rest of our staff who isn't here. Eric Grippa. If you happen to swing by Eric's anatomy classroom these days, first you will smell the formaldehyde from dissections, but then you will be greeted by the same warm, friendly hello that has been around this district for so long, first at Glenesti and now here at West Clermont. After the hello, Grippa will tell you about one of his passions. Could be bow hunting or archery, of which he has written a book, and has a YouTube channel, and fully plans to immerse himself in come the end of May. It could be the boot camp from the Marines that he attended just this past summer that sparked a curiosity in his colleagues as he shared his experience. Or maybe he will mumble something you didn't quite hear so that you have to say, "What did you say?" Only to learn he also wrote a book entitled just that, "What Did You Say?" Things he's heard in the classroom over the years. He has a wealth of knowledge, a fountain of stories, and we hope he continues with his passions when he leaves the hallways of West Clermont. Cindy Robinson. Cindy worked in the clinic at West Clermont before her retirement in December. She's probably off traveling somewhere tonight. While you may not think that a high school clinic could ever resemble a chaotic hospital emergency room, you'd be wrong. But Cindy was the constant calm. Calm in a crisis, calm for students who needed a soft place to land, calm for some of our most medically fragile students. There were some big travel plans for this first part of the year for her while the remaining clinic team managed that chaos. But we are hopeful that she has found her own calm on those travels and in retirement. Lisa McMullen. Lisa retired as a campus coordinator in September, but no title can fully capture someone's impact. Lisa showed up for students, for staff, for everyone each day. Before she stepped into her next chapter, the one where they now call her grandma, she spent years raising so many of us here. New teachers learning classroom management, new admin relying on her steady presence, and students who needed someone firm, fair, and always in their corner. Her impact lives on in the people in this room and beyond it. Thank you for everything you have given to this community, and congratulations. All right, our last one is Bill Scott. Mr. Scott wore many hats in West Clermont during his 20-plus year tenure here, most recently as one of our credit recovery teachers. Sadly, Mr. Scott passed away last week after a very brief illness. Just before his passing, he helped a few of our seniors finish up so that they will be able to cross the stage on May 22nd, which is a testament to the educator that he was. Please keep his colleagues, friends, and family in your thoughts.
Good evening. We had the pleasure of honoring Tracy, but we're super excited she decided to come back so we could honor her again. This is Tracy Ray. We had the good fortune in West Clermont of having Tracy join our team towards the end of her career. She served West Clermont Middle School as the principal for 2 years, and she found a new leash on life perhaps, and spent the last year and a half of her career in West Clermont serving as the WC Your Future coordinator. The relationships and partnerships that she built with the business community really established a strong foundation of which we've been able to build upon since then. And she isn't quite finished yet. She has joined the county and is continuing to pursue her passion for providing opportunities for students that go beyond the classroom. So we are thrilled to honor and recognize Tracy, and we're grateful for her service in West Clermont. members of the board, Dr. Fultz, Mr. Romano, guests here in the audience, it is truly a privilege of mine to have the honor of recognizing Gay Snyder. She has been a pillar within the West Clermont School District for the past 3 decades. Tonight, we get to celebrate her retirement. Gay's journey in West Clermont spans 30 remarkable years. 3 years she had the opportunity to greet visitors and guests of the district in our district office front desk. She served 15 years within the child nutrition department, ensuring that our learners were fueled and ready for their days. And for the past 12 years, it has been my honor and privilege to have her serve within our teaching and learning department, providing the essential operational backbone that helps us to accomplish our district's academic mission. To describe Gay and her approach to work, and maybe so to life, is she is like the calm within the storm. In a world of education, there are many priorities that are competing. Deadlines are tight, and through it all, Gay remained steady and strong and helped us to remain focused on what matters most. Gay is a master of all details. Her ability to multitask, to prioritize, and to manage competing demands is nothing short of remarkable. But beyond Gay's technical skill, it's her character that has left the deepest mark on me personally and on this organization. She has been a steady presence, in the face of every challenge. She possesses the rare, intuitive gift of knowing exactly what is needed before others even realize that they need it. Whether she was managing a complex course of study, coordinating the details of district-wide training, or just checking in with a colleague, she did so with utmost respect for every individual that she encountered. I'll tell a story real fast. Sometimes we are bombarded with vendors who are trying to peddle their wares within the department. And Gay is a master at putting them off. Once I received an email once from a vendor that she had politely told to hit the highway multiple times. And this person sent me an email just wanting me to know how much he felt respected and valued by her time and time again, even though she was sending him off into outer space. So if that's not a testament to how she's able to do that, I don't know. Through it all, Gay never stopped being a learner. When she first transitioned to our teaching and learning team, it's when we were first transitioning to operating within Google. And she admittedly said, I know nothing about Google Docs. Well, by the time she started the job, which was just a few days later, she had taught herself everything there was to know about Google Docs and everything that came with it. And whether it was a new communication tool or budgeting software, new processes or procedures, Gay handled every new challenge as an opportunity to upskill, to retool, and to sharpen her skills so that she could serve our district in the very best way possible. As a dedicated team player, she never sought the spotlight, yet it was her work that ensured that everyone else could shine. She didn't just fill a role, she cared for the people within them. Gay, as you move into this next chapter, please know that your 30 years of dedication have shaped the very fabric of our district. You leave behind a legacy of excellence, kindness, and grace. It's truly been my honor to have the opportunity to work alongside of you for the past 12 years. On behalf of the Board of Education and our entire district, we thank you, we will miss you, and we wish you a long, happy, and very well-deserved retirement.
I'm here to recognize Roger Thornburg. Roger is a maintenance man extraordinaire. I've worked with him now for 5 years, and he spent over 30 years in this district. He literally kept the lights on every day for those 30 years. Not only is he a skilled electrician, he knows every inspector, fire inspector, heating and air inspector, generator inspector, and he's a legend over at Permit Central in Clermont County. If Roger calls, we get the permit. That's flat out the truth. He sent me over there one day and he said, go get this permit for the modulars at Merwin. We were gonna open Merwin the next day. We had no permit. Go get him, talk to this lady, you'll get the permit. By God, I drove over there, had the permit in 10 minutes. Roger is one of these people, once he knows you, he's a lifelong friend. We're gonna miss him tremendously. I honestly, with all the institutional knowledge he has, I'm going to meet with him in a couple weeks at lunch and over a period of a couple lunches and try to learn what he already knows. A parting story about Roger also involves Randy Gebhardt when he was the principal at this building. The chillers went out one day and it was springtime and it was getting hot, and Randy, as understanding as he is, wanted the chillers back on, like now. So he called me. So I called Johnson Controls, and by now it's 6 o'clock and they're still not on. So Johnson Controls is out here. They said, we'll stay till we get them running. 10 o'clock at night, I get a call. They were out here, and Johnson Control blew, by mistake, the main circuit breaker. So I called Roger. Roger was on vacation in Ocean City, Maryland, about 10:30. And his first response was, hey, boss, what's up? What do you need? So I told him. He said, take your phone, obviously, drive out there. I'll tell you and Johnson how to get this back on. So I had to take a series of pictures with Johnson Control of tags on various electrical equipment to trail down where the break was. And about midnight, got it fixed. I'm taking pictures by the phone. Johnson Controls gets it fixed, and Randy has air the next morning. But that's Roger Thornburg. He is selfless in what he's offered this district. He was in management for a long time. When I got here, we tried to kind of transition him into like special operations and assistant manager. Whatever needed to be done, Roger would come in and do it. It didn't matter what time of the day or not I called him. His first response is, what's up, boss, what do you need? So it's hard to replace a guy like that. I wish he was here, but I know why he's not. I think he's probably fishing or boating or somewhere tonight because it's so nice. I called him, he just didn't want to come. So that's Roger Thornburg. Thank you.
So we are going to take approximately about a 10-minute break. There are refreshments out in the lobby. Please help yourself to that, and then we'll come back in about 10 minutes, okay? Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Again, congratulations to all the retirees. I do wish them well in their next chapter. Next up, it looks like Ms. Kaufman, West Clermont School Student Voice.
All right, good evening again. Tonight, we thought we would highlight some of the work we are really proud of here in this 25-26 school year, but I want to emphasize that this work started before me, and I have felt so lucky to just watch things grow and blossom this year. The things we wanted to show off to you tonight involve our work with Leader and Me and the Student Lighthouse team, and Junior Jaden Farrar will talk about Student Voice and Initiative. Senior Haley Bigham will speak on our academic highlights, including CCP and other unique academic programs she has been a part of here. Senior Zachary Davis had an incredible pre-apprenticeship experience that has shaped his future, and he will tell you a bit about the elusive CCWMR indicator and what Angela Basler has continued to build on with the pre-apprenticeship program. And finally, school culture. I have said it to anyone who asks, and I will say it here again tonight. West Clermont High School has the kindest students that I've worked with in my career. Sarah Arona, who is a junior, will speak about the Spiffy U initiative he started that is helping shape culture here, as well as his experiences in our WOOF lab. And I believe Haley Bingham is up first.
So I'm going to speak about APs and CCPs I've been a part of. So I've participated in, I want to say maybe more than 8 CCPs. It's been 4 ITs, 4 math, 2 English, and then I've done 2 government APs, which is APUSH, AP Gov, and then there's AP Psych, AP Spanish too, which AP Spanish was kind of just a ball thrown, like throwing a dirt blind. It was like, why not? I'm here, might as well take it. And then I've also participated in some pre-apprenticeship programs. I did a 16-week program with Jumpstart Academy, which offered me the opportunity to go and get an internship through that because they were like, hey, we love you and think you would be a great fit. And I actually got to talk to a woman from NASA. Nicole Smith was on the previous slide. It was called Tech Olympics. It's a massive student-led conference that's put on every year. We actually went to GE Aerospace in their Learning Center, which was a very amazing experience. I got to learn about different areas of the IT field and explore that. That's actually one of the CCPs I've been a part of. And if you finish all of those CCPs, I think it's a total of 6 classes, and then some of your English CCPs and some of your science and your math, you can actually complete like your associate's degree and get automatic acceptance into their IT program, which at UC, which is amazing. And I am going to UC, but for computer science. So it was a great opportunity to learn so much of this and then actually figure out what I wanted to do, because freshman year, if you would have asked me what I wanted to do, it would have been completely different than when I randomly decided to take an IT class. It went from architecture to computer science, which completely different. It's like art program versus STEM program, which they're kind of hand in hand at this point. But it was very fun to go and actually talk to all these amazing individuals who have all this career experience. And at my internship, I work with Clermont County Educational Service Center as their social media strategist intern. I have been able to go on different events with different parts of the school. I've gone to a field trip. I've been to, we're doing a partnership with Cincinnati Reuse, and they're going to recycle computers for people in the district who can not afford a computer but need it, because that's very important in this day and age with technology, which was important to me as somebody that's going into the tech field to see that people are doing that and doing those initiatives. And then I post stuff about what's going on with all the Clermont County like schools and maybe for hiring at certain places. It's a very good opportunity to see that side of like the IT field. I've also gotten other IT experience with like help desk, which was very important because that's like the stepping stone to getting into any IT field is help desk. But yeah, it's been amazing getting all this experience and career experience, and it would have never happened if we didn't have all those CCP and AP classes at our school, because I wouldn't have known this kind of IT stuff existed, or that I could maybe go into health, because we offer health classes that are CCP, or graduate with an associate's and get my general ed out of the way and then just go straight into college and only have to pay for 2 years of school versus the 4, which I'm finding out that it's expensive to pay for college and that I have to make sure I'm on top of things, and that was a great opportunity to be able to get that much college out of the way. So.
And next up is junior Jaden Farrar to talk about Leader in Me and Student Lighthouse.
Hello everyone, my name is Jaden Farrar, I'm a junior, and I want to begin by saying thank you, Ms. Basler, for giving me this honor to speak in front of the Board of Education, Dr. Foltz, and all of you amazing people out there. Without teachers believing me, I would not be standing up here today. But one teacher in particular has changed my life more than anyone, my college speech teacher, Mrs. Dorman. On the last day of the semester, she told everyone that speech was more than just a class, but it was a skill we can use every single day to change the world around us and to change things that are important to us. And obviously, I took her advice very seriously and decided to use my voice to create change within our school. Ever since the beginning of 10th grade, and a long time before that, healthcare has been a very big passion of mine. I spent countless hours studying the field, learning more about it, especially dentistry, which I want to pursue a career in. Nevertheless, I wanted to use my knowledge to help others learn more about healthcare, and so I created our school's pre-med club. In our club, students get to explore different healthcare careers and meet with professionals. Speaking of which, my club advisor, Ms. Tok Tok, and I invited a sports chiropractor named Dr. Ayers to come to our schools and host what I like to call a career spotlight. When I walked into community room A and I saw over 70 interested students, I was amazed to see what something that I created could create an impact in my school. Another big passion of mine is tutoring. I realized that the members inside of my pre-med club are some of the smartest science students in the entire school. And so I worked with the physical science teachers to create a science-based tutoring program at our school. And after weeks of planning, we finally found a quiz that the students could help with. And they wanted help tutoring with our tutors. And one student, after the grades came back, came up to me and said, "Thank you." She said that normally she only scores around a 40% on these quizzes, but after tutoring, she scored over a 90%. I was so proud to see something that I created could help a student out so much. And so I decided to make something even larger. Since I'm a junior, my peers and I had the opportunity to take the ACT. And the ACT dictates so much about a student's life, what colleges they can get into, what kinds of financial aid they can receive. And so I asked our assistant principal, Ms. Fallhaber, with some help in creating an ACT program at our school. She found 5 amazing teachers around the school who could help with different sessions and, creating just time during school to learn more about the ACT. And when the ACT scores came back, many students came and thanked me. They said that it really helped. And some students said they wish they came to the sessions. And I realized, and while I could stand here and talk about all these successful events, I want to instead look at the failure events, the things that didn't go as well. Because I realized that failure will teach you more than success ever will. During March, Miss Smalley, the tennis coach, and I created an event called Wolves Madness. It was a basketball tournament similar to, of course, March Madness and our school's annual Turkey Bowl, which was also made by students. I thought this event would be a great way to raise money for our school, our tennis team, and raise morale in general. Although after many rule changes and date pushbacks, Wolf Madness sadly never happened. And I could stand here and blame myself, blame others, or blame factors out of my control, I won't. Because I'm amazed to see how far a simple idea in my brain could get. Over the past year, I've learned so much from Student Initiative. As a student, your voice matters, and there are always staff willing to help you every step of the way. I learned that through tutoring, that teaching truly is the best way to learn. And most importantly, everyone can create changes in the places that matter most to them, whether at home, in church, or in school. When you realize how much your voice can impact the world, you are never going to want to stop talking. My name is Jane Farrar. Thank you for your time.
A side note on that, when he created that ACT review and the 5 teachers were selected, they didn't come to the meeting. And so he went to each individual teacher's room and dragged them out. Very motivated. Our next speaker is Zachary Davis, who's going to present on our pre-apprenticeship program.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not a very qualified speaker, nowhere near as good as Mr. Osborne with the well-beloved cafeteria microphone. I will give you my best, though. I'm going to be talking about the pre-apprenticeship program led by Mrs. Basler, who has done it amazingly after following up from Miss Ray that has retired today. Part of the pre-apprenticeship program is a group of students that are pulled, and we explore learning after and business and workforce after the high school graduation. One of those things, what was my choice, was construction and manufacturing. There are other groups of things you can choose from that fit your perspective and your ideas and things you might like. As I was in the pre-apprenticeship program, we did things. We went to a company well known around here called Jurgensen. It's a rock company, and we got to tour that, and they showed us the things they do there, the things they work on, how their company functions. Another thing we explored as we went about is we took a field trip to Batavia High School, and we went up there and we got to talk to people from PNC Bank talking about how their company functions and what goes into their company and how it affects them. This program is very important to high school students like me for reasons that can change varying by student. Part of that is learning what you want to do, what goes into your career after, what do you need to do to get there. Sometimes those steps can be very hard to figure out on your own. They showed us things like what is the first step? That can be very hard sometimes. I want this, but how do I get there? What is my first step I need to take? One of those things for me was wanting to know how to just simply apply for college. Nobody in my family's ever attended college or done anything like that. I went to Miss Basler and asked her, what do I do? I didn't know what to do at all. And she put me in, told me to go talk to a school counselor. School counselor put me in a meeting with a UC representative, and I start college in August after graduation in May. Another thing is just going into adulthood. What does that look like? There are some very well-seasoned adults here. One of those things is, what are taxes? How do we pay taxes? How does that work? What is that? Do I fill out a W-2 or a W-4? Do I need a 401k? How does retirement work? Anything like that that you may be wondering about or curious about are all things that can be answered if you attend the pre-apprenticeship program with Miss Basler. Feel free to ask any questions. And one thing you'll learn as you progress in any point of your life, whether you're 80 and you're sitting at home and reading a book that nobody else cares about, or if you're a high school student graduating, or if you're a kindergartner that wants to know how to tie your shoes. Talk. Go ask. Use your voice. Don't be scared to talk to somebody that might be higher up than you. Don't be scared to ask a question that may make you seem dumb. Your questions there's no such thing as a bad question. Ask. they will be answered, and if it may not be the person you're talking to, it will be somebody else. Thank you for listening to me tonight, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
All right, and our final speaker this evening is Sarah Nerona to talk about Spiffy U and Wolf Lab.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Sarah Nerona. I want to take a moment to say thank you to West Clermont. The support you've given me throughout my entire Spiffy journey hasn't gone unnoticed. From the administrators to the Wolf Lab teachers, I can't think of West Clermont without thinking support. So I truly thank you guys for everything, for the opportunity, even getting the opportunity to speak in front of you guys today. Thank you guys. I want to introduce to you Spiffy U. Spiffy U was created from an idea that a good friend of mine told me. He said, you want to dress like what you want to become. And Spiffy U has been created for at least 7 months now. And from the things I've learned along the way is that presenting yourself well is a powerful core value to have. It's not the only thing that matters, and it's definitely not the most important, but it matters. The way you present yourself is often the first thing people see. Before you speak, before you show your skills, before you understand your goals, they see how you carry yourself. And that first impression can open doors. It can create opportunities. It can start conversations that might not happen otherwise. But here's the truth. Presentation alone isn't enough. You can look the part, but your character is what backs it up. Your work ethic, your attitude, and how you treat people. That's what keeps those doors open. That's what builds respect. That's what makes people believe in you long term. I started this to normalize. Presenting yourself well doesn't mean you have to dress up for a special occasion. You don't need a suit. You don't need expensive clothes. You just need intention. It's about taking pride in how you show up every day. It's about the small choices, being clean, being put together, being confident in your own way. Because when you present yourself with purpose, you start to feel different. You carry yourself differently, and over time, confidence builds into something bigger. So yeah, Spiffy U is about how you look on the outside, but more importantly, it's about how that connects what's on the inside. Once again, thank you for West Clermont for supporting me, supporting the vision, and giving me the opportunity to grow. Thank you, guys.
Saren also started the Spiffy Shop, which is in Wolf Lab across the hallway here if you care to do any shopping afterwards. That is all we have prepared for you this evening. Do you guys have any questions?
I'd just like to say, Zachary, I thought you did a very good job speaking.
Oh, I did too.
I know you were nervous at first, but smooth as can be after that. So thank you.
So I can't remember what the event was, but I got to come to the school and there was different, I want to say it was the state of the school, maybe? And so I actually took a stop at the Spiffy U shop, and obviously I don't think at the time he knew who I was, or like he just thought he was talking to anybody, and he did a really good job, and I actually did get to see the shop that he had, and so I was very impressed with the whole Wolf Lab, actually. The whole presentation was really good, but he did a really good job, and he is really good at speaking, so I do want to say good job on that, yeah.
Did he give you some pointers?
He probably may have, which is actually why I tried to dress nice tonight, because I knew he was going to be here. So great job, guys. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys did a really good job.
If I could just add, it's where I'm out in the community quite a bit, and it's interesting when you hear people talk about kids these days, and I'm like, come see them. They're amazing. They ask good questions. They do good things. They make a difference, and they're not even out of high school yet. So this is just another way that you guys have shown us today about the wonderful things that you're doing, and another example that we can put out into the world about all the great focuses that you have, all the great things that you're focused on. You're really doing things that change the world, even though you may not feel like it because you're changing your 20 square feet, but you are changing people's worlds by doing this. And I have to just say, Haley Bingham was one of mine at Branton, one of mine and Lisa's a Brantoner, so we were very, we know her very well.
Great job, guys. Thank you, guys. Next up is public speaking. I'm told that we have no cards, so we will move on to the consent agenda. Thank you guys again.
Good evening. In front of you is the personnel agenda for Monday, May 4th. We do have 3 retirees on the agenda, but we've celebrated them. The speeches that they gave were far better than anything I could do. The other highlight on the agenda is welcoming a new member, Megan Zanola, as an assistant principal at West Clermont High School, pending your approval. Do you have any questions regarding the personnel agenda at this time?
Thank you, Josh. Welcome, Megan.
Next up is Ms. Preston. Ms. Preston, she's coming, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
the West
sorry.
Clermont High School
Graduate.
class of 2026 graduation.
Sorry, I didn't see you, Ellie. Sorry.
Sorry, I have heels on too, so I'm not sure. That's about all I can do for my height. This evening, we are thrilled. We have the honor of presenting to you the class of 2026 West Clermont High School graduates. This is the culmination of 12 plus years of education, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have the opportunity to celebrate them at the Centos, at the Centos Center later on this month. I'm going to be up here for a few other items. We have a few overnight field trips for your approval this evening. Item 8.03 is the UCA cheerleading camp for our high school cheerleading team. That overnight field trip is a trip that they've taken over the last few years. It's taking place August 1st through August 4th at Miami University. Item 8.04 is a request for our boys basketball team to participate in the NCAA Live event. That trip takes place June 12th through the 14th, and it's held at Lexington Catholic High School in Lexington, Kentucky. 8.05 is a request for our high school girls basketball team to participate in the Best of Ohio recruiting event. That takes place June 6th through the 7th at Newark High School in Newark, Ohio. And the last field trip is item 8.06, and it is an opportunity for, again, our girls basketball team to participate in the same way that our boys basketball is participating in the NCAA Live recruiting event. That is for our high school girls team to participate. That event takes place June 19th through the 20th at George Rogers Clark High School in Winchester, Kentucky. Are there any questions about any of those trips? Great, thank you so much.
Next up is co-op purchasing, Mr. Lafata.
Good evening again. I have 4 things to talk to you about. One is co-op purchases. Our district is a member of numerous co-ops which allow us to participate in buying materials, goods and services, and also on said services like roofing and so on, without going to public bid, because if you're a member of a co-op, the bidding has already been done for you by the co-op, so you can take advantage of state bid pricing. So buying vehicles, roofing, for example, are all through these co-ops, and they are bid out. However, we do not have to go for a public bid. Our attorney with Bricker, once we do a co-op, or once we are thinking about a co-op purchase, all the material, the information goes to our attorney. He approves it, makes tweaks, talks to the co-op, and then the final contract goes to Mr. Romano for approval. Any questions on that? Okay, next is, can't see it.
It's a settlement agreement and release of claims.
Oh, the agreement, we had an accident with maintenance truck hit a custodian's car in the parking lot, so the custodian did not have rental car on their policy. So our attorney developed a statement that he signed, which allows the district to pay for the rental car. It's a one-time claim. Okay? So that's for your approval.
Equipment disposal.
Wish I could see that. Equipment disposal, we have a number of items going to the auction. The auction will be the first week in June. They're already at the auction now. You have to take them 30 days in advance. The auction then advertises them. So we have a truck, a box truck. We have several 72-inch zero-turn mowers, which are over an hour's. We have a lot of miscellaneous equipment. So once the auction is completed, we'll get a separate check for the truck and then a check for all the other equipment, which will go to Mr. Romano in the general fund. And finally, the change order for the windows at Holly Hill. Originally, the bid was for 15 windows. The change order is for your review as a resolution. Instead of doing 15, we're going to do all of the windows at Holly Hill. So you can see the resolution in front of you. Any questions about that or any other thing?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Why weren't we gonna do them all originally? What was the purpose?
When we did when we first did the bid, there was uncertainty about cost
Then, okay.
and affordability.
Mhm.
So since that time, with Mr. Romano's help, we can afford them. They are affordable. What the attorney did was have the bids separated out into unit costs, which can't be changed. So when we decided to go with all of the windows rather than 15, that original bid for 15 windows per unit is now what they have to supply for all the windows. So it was a good move by the attorney to do that.
So with these new windows, is everyone gonna get new air conditioners?
Yes,
to
ma'am.
go in the windows as well, or?
Actually, Mark Hall got a really favorable price on window air conditioners. And as we will take out the old air conditioners, we'll keep those as spares. And then as the old ones are taken out and the windows are replaced, our guys will go right behind them and put in the new window ACs. So we're not paying the window company to do that. Our guys are doing that themselves.
I have one more question.
Yes, go ahead. No, fine, go ahead.
I'm just fascinated because, is this intended on being done this summer? All of these windows are gonna be done and the air conditioner ready to go for next school year?
Yes, ma'am. There's a substantial completion date. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's around August 7th, where everything has to be completed. Then there'll be a punch-out list to check for mistakes, of course, and
Right.
repairs. But August 7th is the drop-dead date, so to speak, for that project to be finished. They're going to start as soon as school's out. The windows, we approved the windows at a pre-construction meeting last week, so the windows are being manufactured now.
Oh, great.
We're going to stage them at Holly Hill, either in the gym or the cafeteria. So the construction crew will have a badge. They can go in and pick the product out and put it in as they go. They won't have to deliver them individually. They'll all be there. Save time and money. And much more efficient.
Is the River City Glass and McAndrews Glass, are they all one company? And are they locally or are they out of state?
Yes, ma'am. McAndrews Glass is a local company, highly rated local company. The manufacturer is a subsidiary of McAndrews Glass. So they are easy to work with from the standpoint that we'll have to put plexiglass in the lower window frame to support the window air conditioners. So they've been working with me and Mark Hall on the dimensions of that and are cooperating. Actually, when I was at Reading Schools and built that building, we used McAndrews glass or McAndrews windows there. Had no problem.
And are they going to be putting like a tent in the window so if the sun comes in, it won't blind the teacher when he or she's trying to teach
Yes,
the
ma'am.
class?
The cool thing about the windows is obviously it's going to be much more energy efficient than it is now. And there'll be a slight tint in the glass, yes, to prevent glare in the classroom.
Thank you.
That was all part of the bid.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is Mr. Romano, approval of minutes.
Item 8.11 is request for approval of minutes. Those were the minutes for the meeting that was held on April 20th, 2026. Item 8.12 is request for approval of donations as presented. I'll read the donors: Bubbler, Casey's, Kep Electric, Nancy Simpson Family, Havana Fithen, and Amanda Klickner. Item 8.13 is request and a recommendation to approve participation in the Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Compensation to 2027 Group Retrospective Rating Program as presented. So we were notified by our consultant Sedgwick that we were invited to participate in a retrospective rating program. We were previously under a premium-based program. This allows us to secure a premium rate, but then at the same time, depending on the experience, to possibly get a rebate, which would keep our costs low on the workman's comp. Any questions on that? Okay. Item 8.14 is request for authorization for the superintendent and treasurer to negotiate and execute contracts as presented. The contracts listed are Applied Behavioral Sciences, Riverside Insights, SCED, Edmonton, OSBA for consulting services, and Elton Hill Communications. Item 8.15 is a request for approval of investments as presented. The majority of our idle cash goes into Star Ohio, but as rates continue to shift and come down, depending on the availability into the future, we went and secured some treasury issues so that we could secure the interest rate for a longer period of time. And so those are as presented. And so the consent agenda is items 8.01 through 8.15 as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Romano. You've heard the recommendation. Would someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Sanborn. Is there any further discussion? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Ms. Sanborn?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
And Mrs. Spencer? Sorry.
He's gotten himself.
5 yes. Going down the line there. Must say Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
All right. Superintendent.
All right, so for the superintendent comments, I have a few things. Again, I want to take a moment to say thank you to all the retirees for their service to West Clermont. They helped make our district a better place for our staff and students. So we wish them well on their next adventure. Last Friday, I attended the Greater Cincinnati Business Advisory Council with Mr. Gephardt, Ms. Sanborn, and Ms. Basler, and Mrs. Curlis. I was gonna, right. And we were proud to recognize Southern Ohio Technician Institute as our Greater Cincinnati Business Advisory Council Partner of the Year. So they work with the Charles L. Shore Foundation, and they give our high school students early industry recognized HVAC training and certifications. So while they're still in high school, they're learning the trade. And so we were excited to recognize them at the Greater Cincinnati Business Advisory Council. Today was a plethora of signing days here at the high school. So we had our academic signing day today, which I heard was over 120 students. And they celebrated who have chosen to continue their education at colleges and universities. We're excited about that. We also had athletics signing day today, which contained about 27 athletes. We were excited that they go on to pursue local and regional colleges, so we're excited with them about that with them. And then we also had career signing day, about 80 kids, and those are who are leaving us and going into the career field directly to get that real world experience right away. So we're excited about having multiple pathways into their adulthood and multiple ways in which they're going to grow and be successful. So today was a good day for West Clermont High School and our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. Next up is Mr. Romano.
Thank you. Item 10.01 is a request to approve the granting of a tax increment financing exemption known as the Omni Drive Development Project. As in the past, TIFs that we are going forward with Union Township are on a make-whole basis. This is a significant development that will be occurring. As in the past, the superintendent and myself have had discussions with Mr. Wright and Mr. Campbell, specifically on this TIF, probably since late last year, on the development of it. Congratulate Mr. Wright and Mr. Campbell on it, because I know this was not an easy one for them to make sure it came through. And one of the things that they've always kept at the top of their list was the ability to make the school district whole. In other words, on revenue that we would otherwise receive if it were not made tax exempt, we are receiving that revenue with this TIF and with that. So we appreciate them making that a commitment to us and making that something that they pulled forward through within this agreement. So again, the recommendation is to approve the granting of a tax incremental financing exemption known as Omni Drive Development by Union Township.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Romano. You've heard the recommendation. Would someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Spencer, thank you. Is there any discussion?
Is this all residential, this development is all residential, or is it
No, it's
commercial?
It's a commercial development. And so as you look at the map of the area that is
Yeah, I did.
there, it's taking those areas, they will be turned into commercial property development.
So it's all commercial then?
Correct.
Got it, thank you.
As they do this, understand that there are certain areas within the township that may be under a CRA or maybe under some other zone. So some of that may overlap, but for this one, it is a TIF. If there are other taxing abilities with that goes into the pot, but we will be made whole on that. So connected with this, and that is attached, there is a compensation agreement that we work out with the township, so after this is done. Okay?
Okay.
That's a good question. But it is a commercial development.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to verify that.
Yeah. Good.
Roll call, please.
Sure. Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mrs. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Ms. Sanborn?
Yes.
5 yes, thank you. And the next item, and I'll have the superintendent jump in when he wants. And I don't know if that's flipping or not because the connection keeps going in and out here, so sorry about that. But the next item on the agenda, and I did provide a handout to the board, is on the financial timeline from today going forward, with kind of the ending date being the election in November. And I will see if this will open up.
Nope.
I'm gonna try and put this over there.
I can't either.
This way, see if that works.
Something's happening.
I don't know whether, I gotta do it off the desktop. That's not working.
And you lost it.
All right, let me try one more time.
It's back.
Let's see if I can do it this way. All right.
It's up.
We'll go that way with it. Okay. Okay, so starting today forward, on May 18th, which is the next board meeting, a regular board meeting, we will go over a draft of the FY '27 general fund budget. It will be presented to the board. That budget will be it's the general fund, but we will divide it up into the different areas of responsibility that the administration has. So, for example, there'll be a section for curriculum, for operations, for IT, for the treasurer's office, the superintendent's office, so it'll be broken down that way. Within that budget will also be as the staffing. As you know, most of our budget is wages and benefits, and that'll be kind of detailed in there too with the position budget. The purpose of giving that to the board on the 18th is present it to them, and then from the 18th through the retreat on the 13th is to get your feedback on that budget. Feedback goes to the superintendent and myself as we go forward with that. Excuse me. In June, we'll have a finance committee meeting, so we should, after this meeting, set a date for that. That finance committee will review the FY '27 budget again, take the feedback that we heard from the board. It will review the financial forecast that's been updated. As I mentioned in February, in that forecast, there was a lot of uncertainty primarily because of not knowing all the answers to the property tax reform bills that took place at the end of 2025. Even got an update today that the State Department of Taxation may not, or their date that they have to give to the county auditors for the what I call the clawback, but for the tax credit that appears on the August bill, that won't happen until May 20th. It has to happen by May 20th, and I'm told it may not happen until then. So that leaves some uncertainty on what that calculation is. We already know that there are some issues from the first guidance that was provided by the State Department of Taxation, specifically on levies that are outside the 20 mil floor, and we're trying to get answers to that. At that finance committee, we'll also discuss budget balancing. We know that because of the fiscal distress that we're headed to, because of those changes in the property tax laws, that it can't come from one side of the ledger, i.e. it can't come out of all expenses, and we have to look at, finding opportunities on the revenue side, which at that magnitude really means going back to the community and asking for more funding. We'll need to look at the future on the side of the future budgets. Right now, we know that in 2030, the 2020 levy expires. So as we look forward, what do we need to look on the budget side? What do we need to look on the revenue side? With the revenue opportunities, we really need to look at, if the board chooses to put an issue on the ballot, is that going to be a property tax or is that going to be an income tax? So there's different things that the board needs to consider. June 13th is the board retreat. I know there's an agenda being set for that, but at a certain point in there, probably like to have a whole discussion with the board on some of these financial issues. June 29th would be the last board meeting of our fiscal year. There's some standard items in that. One of them is the final amending and supplementing appropriations for this current year, but it also is the meeting prior to July 1, i.e. the fiscal year start of FY '27. We'll need to adopt the budget. We need to adopt an appropriation measure. We'll again review that updated financial forecast. The board does not have to adopt it, but I think it is prudent that we update that and put our best estimates of the next 3 or 4 years. We'll actually continue doing a 5-year, although we're only required to do 3. Again, we'll review the different revenue and expenditure scenarios And when I talk about the revenues and expenditures together, the forecast that we did in February looked at the school district in FY '28, at the end of FY '28, hitting zero, basically depleting our cash reserves that were accumulated. Don't know how else to say it, but I know I was at a meeting last week. Superintendent and I are going to another one in Columbus Wednesday. This meeting was really focused on districts like ours that were at the 20 mil floor, that got highly impacted because the law take us off the 20 mil floor, which means where every 3 years we were getting some gains in revenue as valuations went up. That no longer will happen to the extent that we had in the past. The gains in revenue will only go up to the amount of inflation. Okay, so this year from the 23 valuation increase, only about 11%. Okay, so that, again, they're going back and we had a 40% increase on residential and agricultural. The difference between the 40 and 11 will be pretty much pulled back. The state will compensate us on 1 year. Some other districts may get 2 years, but we only get 1 with that. They're calling that a make whole, but as I look at the calculations, it's not a make whole from what we received in FY '24 to do that. So when I talk revenue expenses, it's really that balancing of how much can we cut the budget to the point of going back to the community and looking at an opportunity to increase either a property tax or to do an income tax with that. At that June meeting, we should be discussing levy options. And then we may want to consider, depending on again, between now, maybe up to June 13th, and then through the 29th, discussing those different options that we have as we look at the budget. Okay, we could consider a resolution of necessity at that time. That would mean that we would narrow down what type of ask it would be, what type of ballot issue it would be, and what amount of millage or what amount of income tax rate it would be. So those things need to be determined before we do that resolution of necessity. Okay? If we don't do that on the 29th, the next board meeting is July 9th, but no later than July 23rd. Okay, so if the way the timing is, okay, we need to adopt the resolution of necessity if we want to put an issue on the ballot in November. The last date to do that is July 23rd, because on July 24th, that's the last date to file those documents with the state tax commissioner and or with the county auditor. Okay. July 24th, then we would file those documents if we adopted it. So whether we adopt it on June 29th or on July 9th, we have to file those documents by July 24th. Okay. And I'm sorry, because if you're out there in the audience, you're not seeing this, so apologize. All right. Okay. So I think it went through July 24th. After we file those documents, and what ends up happening, when we file that resolution of necessity with the state tax commissioner and the county auditor, if it is a property tax that's decided, the county auditor then certifies back the dollar amount to us of what that millage would yield. Okay? The state commissioner or State Department of Taxation would then certify back to us what the yield would be if it were an income tax. Okay, so we would get that information. That needs to be done before we do a resolution to proceed. So the resolution to proceed is a statement by the board saying that we are going to put that issue on the ballot. That needs to be done before August 5th. So the board at their August 3rd meeting, okay, but no later than August 4th, okay, and it could be done earlier, so if we get all that information back earlier, we could have a special board meeting. The reason I was looking at the board meetings that already exist on the calendar, is because if we do it earlier, we'd have to advertise and do a special board meeting. If that is a decision of the board to have a special board meeting, I would recommend that we adjust that schedule maybe in June. Talk about that at the June 13th meeting, so we can advertise those special board meetings well in advance, so that if the community would want to attend, they could attend it. Okay, we don't want to do that, have that special board meeting at the last minute. People think that we're just trying to do it without any attention. Okay, so I did put the regular meetings that were already advertised on there. So that last action item to get an issue on the ballot would have to be done at the August 3rd meeting. We want a special, the latest could be August 4th. Following that meeting, we have to file, again, the documents with the Board of Elections and with the county auditor and/or State Department of Taxation as we go forward with that. Following this meeting, I will ask bond counsel, since we don't know what we're doing, to go ahead and draft language, leaving blank the items that we don't know. So for example, we don't know what a millage amount it would be yet. We don't know if we go for an income tax, what multiple of 0.25% would be. I will get you those estimates of what a mill will yield, what 0.25% would yield, and we'll look at that. But I'll ask bond counsel to start drafting the language for those two resolutions so we can go forward with it. Things that as an administration group, as a Board of Education, input from the community is we need to look at balancing, and I'm sorry, I'm going to pull this up again. Get down to the bottom, okay. Here's the things that when the superintendent and I were talking earlier today that we know we need some answers on and some considerations with. And you know, we'll end up giving some recommendations, but it is really deliberation by the board that needs to secure things. So the ability for us to balance and reduce the budget and look at different revenue opportunities. Okay, we've already started adjusting the budget even this fiscal year. The superintendent started that back in the fall when we knew, or really in December when we knew that legislation was going to pass. We need to really consider the revenue opportunities. Is it a property tax or is it an income tax? What do we want to do, if the board wants to do it? Determining then the millage amounts or the income tax rates. We need to consider the duration. So it is, and you got to follow through. There's two different timelines, whether it is a property tax or an income tax. If it is a property tax, collection starts the year after a millage was passed. So if in November of 26 there's a property tax that passes, the first collection starts in 27. So with the January bill that comes out for property tax in 27. If it's an income tax, it does start in 27, but there are delays in us receiving that money. So property tax, there's two points during the year. There's a January, February settlement, and then there is really a July, August settlement. For the income tax, the school district would receive its money quarterly, but it doesn't, in the beginning, it's not equal 25% of what the collection is. It starts out very slow, okay? So there's difference in that. But the duration really has to do with consideration of when do we believe we may come back to the community. So recall in 2020, the commitment was made that we would not come back to the voters prior to 2024. We were able to extend that. We actually, last fall, okay, and even before the start of this fiscal year, we believed, because of the valuation increase, we believe we could extend that into 27 even, correct? Okay, and we, again, as the administrative staff out here and the superintendent, work their budget. They have really followed the fact that we'll only do what's necessary. The proof of that is our expense per pupil. We still remain one of the lowest dollar amounts spent per pupil in this state. Okay? So whether legislators or people think that we are trying to game the system because we were at the 20 mil floor, because we moved our inside millage to the permanent improvement fund, or because we had emergency levies, the fallacy in that is if you look at our cost per pupil, okay, it is one of the lowest still within the state. And I can't help but say it because it's part of our story. At the same time, during the last 5 years, and even prior to that, we were one of the lowest spending. You know, superintendent and this team out here, direction with the board, our performance has been improving and is one of the, you know, receiving the Momentum Award means that we continue to improve. What's at risk, right, with the finances is our ability to keep improving and keep our momentum going and keep performing to do that. So the consideration is on that duration is, and it's connected to either the millage amount or the tax rate. That will tell us how long it can last before we go back to the voters. One key thing to remember, you know, with that is the state is not giving us any more money. And with the current formula that is in place, and because of the valuation per pupil that we have, and because the adjusted gross income per pupil that we have, when I look at that formula going forward, even if the state decides to fully fund that formula, it looks like we will still be in the guarantee state, which means the state will not give us any more money. I knock on wood every time I say it. I don't know if the table's wood or plastic, I don't know. But the fear I always have is the state wanting to get rid of the guarantee, which means, again, we would not get the same dollar amount, we would get less. Okay, so that's a consideration that we have to have. That's a fear that we have to have. That's why the superintendent, myself, and even with the board, we were not going to take our foot off the pedal on advocacy efforts with the legislators. Okay, we need to secure those things. You have to keep in mind that in 2030, our 10-year emergency levy expires, and we have to make a decision then of what we want to do. Okay, go for the same dollar amount, okay, go for an increased dollar amount, but what do we need to do in 2030? That has a bearing on what, if the board chooses, what we would put on the ballot in November. Okay, it has a bearing on that millage amount or the income tax rate amount. Okay. I want you to ask questions. The superintendent wants you to ask questions, but I think the big thing that we need to know is what other information does the board need as we approach making that decision to put or not to put an issue on the ballot in November? Okay. So this is nothing new. We kind of talked about this before, but it's down in print in what we want to do. Okay.
So statewide, can you find out what percentage of income tax issues have passed?
Okay.
Versus property tax issues? Thank you.
Okay. I think we'll find that out on Wednesday.
Yeah, I believe
it's in that data. And you don't have to have all, I mean, you know, again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot tonight, but as you think of things, you know, I know you're not shy. Don't be shy of calling the superintendent and myself and saying, hey, we want this info. Okay, to do it. But one of the things I forgot to put in there is as we go through this budget development process for FY27, the commitment was made to reduce at least $3.5 million out of the budget as we go into the next year. And a lot of that you heard about, the transportation that we're looking at reducing. There's some positions that have already been, the board has already approved to reduce, and we'll have a summary of that at the next meeting. Everybody's looking at their budgets and looking at what is essential and mandatory versus what may not be, and so that, that might be on the reduction list that we go forward with.
I just want to point out too, again, anytime there's a reduction, it's going to affect our academics. Anytime we take something away from a child, it's going to affect the opportunity for that child to perform at a higher level.
I mean, I guess for me, you guys, from my perspective, do a great job keeping us informed and keeping us apprised as to what's going on in the movement. My ask is, to hear from the community. So, whether it's our public participation, but showing up to our community, or I'm sorry, to our board meeting, having the community come up, just to help us on that part of the understanding. But the fact is, we have some very tough decisions to be made, regardless of how you look at it. So whether it's reduction in staff, whether it's, I mean, again, and I've said from day one, me coming on the board to Natasha, and I'll continue to say it, we're not making threats. This is just reality, like, of things that will have to happen if we can't get to where we need to be. So, yeah. Go ahead.
I would say that to that, with the Citizens Advisory Council presenting at the next board meeting what they've been working on, you're going to hear straight from some of the community members.
Perfect. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's there. And I think the only comment I have is the superintendent. Is that all the questions on this, or again, if there's more, please don't. Make sure that you give some feedback and input to the superintendent and myself. Wednesday, the superintendent and I will go to a statewide meeting. Actually, BASA had to put it into 2 different dates because of the request for attendance there. But we go to a meeting Wednesday in Columbus on property tax reform. I did go last week because was asked to help out at the end with school districts that had questions on doing the calculation. You may be surprised that some districts did not understand yet to the extent that they may be impacted. So not saying that we're ahead of the game. There's still a lot of unanswered questions out there with that. But we'll attend that, and we're still setting dates to meet with our area legislators to talk to them about how we are impacted with this and what can be done.
A lot of schools don't have a tandem on it.
Is that it for you, Mr. Romano? Okay. Next up is board comments. I'll start with Mrs. Sanborn. You two have switched on me.
I'm okay tonight, thanks. I'm good.
You doing
Okay. Okay, thank you. Ms. Spencer?
Just thank everybody for coming out. I do appreciate all the people that retired and have dedicated so much of their life to West Clermont and to the education field in general. I was privileged to spend all day with second graders from Summerside. We went to we did a field trip. I just forget how much energy it takes to spend an entire day with a bunch of second graders. But we had a great time, and I thought it was everybody did great, and we had a good time. But it really kind of helps you understand and really appreciate the teachers that are in those little grades when they're like, they can't go to the bathroom because you can't leave the kids. Those kind of things. But I had a great time. And I do appreciate everyone being here tonight. And the student voice was I enjoyed everyone's talking, and really appreciate, like what David said about the kids. Not all kids are those teenagers. You're right. Thank goodness that our teachers are instilling some really great work ethics and some inspiring stories that they can move on and hopefully be ready for the adulthood as responsible adults. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rudy?
I'd just like to offer condolences to the family of Mr. Bill Scott. It was a shock to me personally. He's a good personal friend and colleague for many years, and he will be sorely missed. He did some great work with students, getting them graduating. So, just thinking about them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Mr. Chumley?
Yeah, this meeting's always bittersweet because we see a lot of good teachers go, but it's always great to kind of celebrate what they've done for us, and so it is an enjoyable meeting, but again, we're going forward, we're worse off for it, and in a few more weeks, we'll get to celebrate our students as they walk across the stage, so looking forward to that. Thursday, we get to go to kindergarten field trip, so always fun to do. We've done it a few times now. And the kids, yeah, they did a great job. Like you said, you hear those kids all the time, but when you get to witness them speak better than I ever could, it shows that our future is in pretty good hands. So gives me confidence. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chumley. I'll keep mine short. So first and foremost, our next board meeting will be May 18th at 7 p.m. at the Union Township Civic Center. We'll be back at the Civic Center. So again, May 18th at the Civic Center. Again, just to kind of echo, I'm going last, I kind of have to echo with everybody, but I do congratulate all of the retirees, and I wish them well in their next chapter. We do lose a lot of good talent there, so, but I do wish them well, and I look forward to the day that I can retire. So, to the teachers, we are almost there. Just keep swimming. We're almost there. Every day when I walk in our buildings, our teachers proceed to tell me how many days we have left. We have, I believe, 13 days left at my school. So we're almost there, guys. We can do this. So that's all that I have. We do not have any reason to go into executive session at this point. So would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Spencer, thank you. I'm assuming no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mrs. Spencer? Ms. Sanborn?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Mr. Patton?
Yes.
5 yes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Those three.
Should be just taking a drink of water.